All right, so we're living in this world that's just buzzing with incredibly smart AIs, right? But there's this massive problem, kind of hiding in plain sight. Most of them can't talk to each other. It's like they all speak a different language. So today, we're going to dig into how we can fix that. How do we get these AIs to actually collaborate and, build the future together? Let's jump right.
So here's the game plan. We'll start by really defining the problem of AI silos. Then, we'll take a quick trip back in time to see how we got here. After that, it's all about the here and now. We're going to unpack the modern toolkit everyone's so excited about. And finally, we'll look ahead at a practical roadmap and what this amazing web of agents could really become.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big problem here. Think about it like this. You've got a room packed with the smartest people on the planet, absolute geniuses in their fields. But none of them speak the same language. Total chaos, right? Well, that's pretty much where we are with AI. We're building these incredible digital brains, but they're all stuck in their own little bubbles.
And that really brings us to the key question, doesn't it? What happens if the best AIs we're building can't actually work together? We've got all these super powerful, specialized agents, but yeah, they're trapped in these digital silos. Each one's built on a different framework, speaks a different code language, and there's just no universal adapter to plug them into each other. And this isn't just some minor inconvenience. It makes building big, dependable AI systems a total nightmare.
So what's the magic word here? It's interoperability. And all that really means is giving these different agents the power to find each other, figure out what the other one is good at, share what they know, and then actually team up on a task. It's the difference between building a bunch of lonely little islands of intelligence and starting to connect them to build massive, powerful continents. Now here's the interesting part. You might think this is a brand new problem, something that just came up with modern LLMs, but nope, not at all. People have been wrestling with this for decades, this whole quest to create a universal language for machines. It's actually got a really cool history, so let's take a quick peek.
Yeah, you can really see the whole story laid out here. Way back in the 90s, you had these early pioneers like KQML. Super foundational stuff, but man, was it complex. Then, fast forward to around 2020 and the whole game changes with large language models. Suddenly we get these new tricks, like RAG, which is basically how a model looks things up, and function calling, which lets it use tools. And all of that has led us right here, to this new explosion of lighter, more practical protocols designed to finally connect all the dots.
And here's a look at one of those early attempts, KQML. I mean, this stuff was absolutely groundbreaking for its time. It was built on this really academic idea that language is a type of action, and it tried to create these super formal, rigid rules for how agents should communicate. The big problem, though? Well, just look at that diagram. It was just too much, way too complex, too heavyweight for the real world. A brilliant idea on paper, but just not built for the speed and scale of the modern internet.
This right here really shows you the night and day difference. On one side, you have that old school era, super formal, clunky, and complicated. And on the other, you have where we are now. Everything is about being lightweight, flexible, and secure. The whole mindset has shifted. Now it's all about agents being able to find each other on the fly, trust each other, and work together, even if they were built by completely different teams in completely different companies.
Okay, so that brings us to the main event, the modern protocol toolkit. And the key word here is toolkit. We're not talking about one single giant one-size-fits-all solution anymore. Instead, what we have now is a collection of specialized tools, and each one is perfectly designed for a very specific job when you're building these connected AI systems.
We're going to focus on 4 big ones. First, there's MCP, which is all about connecting LLMs to tools. Then you've got ACP, for when agents need to have much more detailed back-and-forth conversations. A2A is for when you need agents to team up inside a company. And finally, ANP is the big one, for letting agents work together out on the open web. It's really a natural progression, right? From simple to complex, and from working inside your own walls to collaborating with the entire world.
Let's kick it off with the first one, the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And honestly, the best way to think about this comes straight from the source material. They call it a USB-C for AI. And that is a perfect analogy. It's that one universal plug you can use to connect any tool, any piece of data, or any instruction into any large language model. No more custom adapters for everything.
So what this really gives you is a secure, super reliable plug-and-play connection. An LLM can now use any external tool, whether that's running a piece of code, doing a quick web search, or pulling data from a database through one standard interface. You don't have to build a new, custom connection for every single tool you want to add. It just works.
Okay, next up is the Agent Communication Protocol, or ACP. This protocol is what you need when agents have to do more than just a simple request and response. We're talking richer conversations. Because it's built on normal web standards, it can handle something called asynchronous messaging. All that means is an agent can send a complex message, maybe with text, a few images, and a document, and it doesn't have to sit there and wait for an instant reply. It's more like sending a detailed email than having a live phone call.
Now, building on top of that, we get to the Agent-to-Agent Protocol, or A2A. This one is all about teamwork, but specifically inside a trusted space, like within one company. The really cool part here is that agents use these things called agent cards. Think of it literally like a digital business card. It says, "Hi, I'm the finance agent, and here are the 3 things I'm really good at." This lets other agents look around, find the expert they need, and then securely hand off tasks to build these really sophisticated multi-step workflows.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the Agent Network Protocol, ANP. Now this is the big one, the most ambitious of the bunch, because it's built for the wild west of the open internet. It uses some really neat decentralized tech, like DIDs. You can think of a DID as a universal, tamper-proof ID card that an agent owns itself. This allows agents from totally different organizations to find each other, prove who they are, and work together securely, all without needing some big central company playing matchmaker. This is what could truly power a global web of agents.
This table does a great job of laying it all out side by side. Just look at that architecture model column. You can see that clear path we've been talking about, right? You start with the simple client-server model of MCP, and you level up all the way to the fully decentralized peer-to-peer world of ANP. It makes it so clear that each one has its own job to do, whether it's just giving a single LLM a new skill or connecting a whole global network.
So, okay, we've got this awesome toolkit. But the big question is, how does a real company actually start using this stuff? I mean, you can't just flip a switch and have it all working tomorrow. Well, the good news is there's a really practical, step-by-step roadmap for how to get there.
It's basically a crawl-walk-run strategy. Super logical. You start at stage 1, the crawling phase. You bring in MCOP to let your LLM start using basic tools. Simple and effective. Then you move to walking in stage 2, layering in ACP so your agents can have more meaningful conversations. Stage 3 is when you start to run inside your own company, using A2A to get teams of agents working together on big projects. And then finally, stage 4. That's when you open the doors and use ANP to let your agents join the big, wide world of the open agent economy.
And if you follow a path like that, well, that's when things get really exciting. We start to move towards a future where AIs aren't just these standalone tools we use one at a time. Instead, they become nodes in this huge, dynamic, interconnected network, a true web of intelligent agents. Okay, so as we start to pull this all together, there are 3 really big things to take away from all this. First, and this is crucial, there's no single magic protocol that does everything. This is a toolkit with different tools for different jobs. Second, the smart way to do this is step by step. A phased approach is the only practical way to get there. And finally, and maybe most importantly, these standards are not just a nice to have. They are the absolute bedrock. They are the foundation we need to build the truly scalable, secure, and intelligent AI systems of the future.
And so that leaves us with one last massive question to think about. Once we finally tear down all these digital walls, once any AI can team up with any other AI anywhere in the world, what are we going to build? What incredible new things become possible? It's a pretty amazing future to imagine.